Perfecto, gracias. Buenas tardes.
Today. I'm sure you agree, and I can tell the people still are having lunch. But anyhow, so ladies and gentlemen, friends, partners, guests, good afternoon. Today, I'm presenting Huawei for sure. However, today, I am not going to promote Huawei. Yeah, today, I really want to promote four things. I want to promote technology, industry, society, and economies. I guess those are the four things that are necessary here for Latin America market and for any other market in the world, and Latin America is not an exception. Remember, technology innovation, society, and industries, and last but not least, what we're here for is economies. So the topic of my presentation is basically presenting the hope for every person to live happier, healthier, safer, the hope for every business to conduct very efficient and successful business, and the hope for every country to develop its economy and to put itself on the leadership map. This is the kind of purpose that we are all after. We're not after only 5G or 4G or fiber connectivity by itself. We are after those things because of that great hope and great purpose. So let's go on and tell you, actually, in Huawei and all over the world, we've seen a very unprecedented pace of growth or appetite for operators all over the world to adopt the 5G. As a matter of fact, 5G is supposed to hit 500 million subscribers in a time period which is 3 years, much less than what it took for 3G and the 4G. But what's more importantly, last week I was in Shanghai attending Mobile World Congress, and everything was about 5G in China. And there, China Mobile, they said that in about a year, they expect the price for 5G phone to hit the range between $150 to $300. And guess what? This is what will make 5G ecosystem accessible, and you will see from that point things are going to explode. By the end of this year, you will find more than 40 manufacturers for devices. 50 countries are going to license the spectrum. More than 60 commercial networks are going to be there by the end of this year. From Huawei angle, we are leaders in infrastructure technology, in infrastructure as well as 5G specifically. Until now, we have more than 50 contracts, and we shipped more than 150,000 base stations. And by the way, I just actually got and use on my phone now that today our partner Vodafone in the UK, they had 5G live in 7 cities. So that was also a great news to have a lot of our equipment also in Europe. So moving on to talk a little bit about services, and I know you know these things much better than me. For services for 5G, it's two aspects. One of them is enhanced mobile broadband or fixed wireless access. And the other part is the great things that we talk about, ultra reliable, low latency industries, Industry 4.0, all of those things. The first part is already there. It's commercial because the standard is frozen, release 15. For the second part, people need to wait until 2021. Why? Because the release 16 will be done by that time. But that doesn't mean that we wait for 5G, because we get a lot of those questions from our partners. When can I start 5G? Should I wait for the regulatories and policy to license 5G, spectrum for 5G, or should I start from today? I tell them, you can start 5G today, even by organizing your site assets, even by extending fiber to your site, even by enhancing your energy resources in your site. And I tell you in this next slide, a very interesting point actually, which is in the next 10 years, while 5G is emerging, these are the best 10 years for 4G. So that's why we always say that any investment in 4G, it's actually an investment in 5G. Every 4G dollar is a 5G dollar. Every hertz that any entity owns will be a 5G hertz. So basically, the industry now is converging. And if you see here, the best strategic direction, when you talk about 5G, it starts by two things. Here, we're focusing on supply and demand. When it comes to the supply, first, you need to economize your 4G network. You need to organize your assets. And for that, of course, you need to have reform the 2G to 3G and 4G. You need to organize your street furniture. These are the things that matters. You build your own site, you not build it, they're already built in there. You modernize the site, you use all of your assets, and that's how you organize your resources or the supply side. The yellow color is the supply and the blue color is in the demand. For the demand perspective, you need to start understanding other industries. You need to start as an operator. You need to start building the organization that will help you to transform. We all talking about digital transformation. I personally have been talking about digital transformation for like 5 years. But what does that mean? It means economizing your resources and energizing your demand that you are after and open up to different demand. If you are just present in consumer business, this will not help you in the future, and the end is not going to be happy whatsoever. So this is the first two lines up there. So you start doing all of those organization of the assets and improving the 4G experience. After that, think about adding the 5G new radio, but that's one part. But what is the other part? The cloud and AI. Listen, 5G is not going to act by itself. 5G is just one technology in a basket full of very transformative technologies that will help each other to grow. Otherwise, 5G by itself, if you just put the base station, that's fine. You're just going to get a faster pipe. But will the faster pipe will be enough for your business or not? I don't think so. Of course, we know that fast is good, efficiency is good, but at the end of the day, you need to break through. China Mobile last week in Shanghai, they had something what they call 5G plus. Not 5G plus as a marketing term. No, 5G plus 4G, 5G plus ecosystem, 5G plus X industries, but more importantly, they mentioned 5G plus AICDE. A stands for AI, I stands for IoT, C stands for cloud, D stands for big data, E stands for edge computing. That's all. If you have all of those, then you are transforming yourself. So never think about only 5G. You have to include cloud and AI, big data, and cloud edge computing. Moving on, the lifeblood for our life. It's the spectrum. Spectrum, and I've heard a lot of presentation, very nice presentation all over past 2 days about spectrum, and indeed, a lot of talks about the price of the spectrum, the band of the spectrum. It doesn't matter what you do, but what it matters is release the right spectrum with the right amount immediately. Not just for 5G, you can make the spectrum technology neutral, service neutral as well, so that it will benefit everybody. In the middle here, you will see the mid-band. Mid-band is the key for 5G success. And the reason is, for mid-band, you do not actually need to build a new site. You're just focusing on upgrading the site, because one-on-one is very clear for the mid-band. We have great technology like Massive MIMO that will allow the operators who put 5G in the mid-band, they have the same coverage as the existing LTE. Then the barrier, the entry barrier for investment entry barrier is really great, because you do not want or you don't need to build new site. For Latin America, There are C-band is available 25 plus 25, although we believe in Huawei that the spectrum in C-band need to be at least 40, 60, 80 megahertz for an operator to get really the powerful 5G, but 25, technically it's fine and it will get a lot of benefit, but there is a band from I think 3.6 to 3.8, and we believe that regulators and policymakers need to put this band to work and license it at least for testing, because testing is going to take some time to get the technology really the proof of concept. Beyond the spectrum, let me talk to you a little bit about 5G enablers and 5G offerings. 5G opportunities. What are the opportunities? Think about the X thing that China Mobile mentioned. What does X mean? It means Cloud X, Data Value X, and Industry X. Data Value X, you depend on the efficiency in data, in providing your data access, the price per bit, to C, to H, to home, to B. You depend on those to industrialize your digital business. Remember this industrialized digital business, because Industry X will talk about digitalizing your industry. So it's two parts: industrialize your digital and digitalize your industry. This is what people are doing now. And the Cloud X, we talk about cloud robot, cloud AR, cloud VR, cloud gaming, cloud whatever you want. People are even thinking in 10 years, the cell phone, the internet is going to be internet of robots, because everybody will have robots. Now, what will 5G offer to you? 5G will offer to you the power of 5G. It offers to you the simplicity of deployment, and it also offers to you the efficiency. And I have different examples here to you about how, especially in Huawei, how we are focused on building simple 5G equipment that looks like putting together a toy, arranging the toy together by blocks, and at the same time efficiency as well. I already talked about that, about how powerful 5G is. Remember, in a base station that's 20% less size than 4G, you can get 10 times capability than 4G. So that's why people are thinking, Huawei is providing affordable 5G? No, I mean, forget about the naked dollar amount for 5G equipment. Think about the capability of the base station. You will find out that per unit capability, 5G is cheaper than 4G. 5G consume less energy per bit than 4G. 5G is great. In terms of fixed wireless access, because this is the low-hanging fruit for 5G, actually deploying fixed wireless access, it gets you 3 different benefits out of one deployment. First of all, it's the indirect benefit to 4G, because your 4G will be more valuable, will have more demand. You will get the 5G brand, and you will get another segment, which is the VIP segment as well. And you can see here the difference in the power, how powerful 5G is compared to 4G. The word that everybody's talking about, it, security, security, security. Let me tell you, 4G and 5G, it's the laws of physics. It's the wireless communication between 2 points. It's bits and bytes in the air. All Maxwell equation valid. 4G exactly the same as 5G in terms of communication laws. However, by definition, 5G is more secure than 4G, and thanks to 3GPP standard, right? But when we talk about security in 5G era, is it a valid concern? Yes, it is a valid concern. Why? Because 5G touches more services than we ever expect in 4G. Because you have more services, the bad guys can come to your network really more, it's more probable they can come to you. But ladies and gentlemen, the standard is very clear about splitting the risk of security in different domains. And It provides different ways to manage the threat. It's all about technology. It's all about technology and the investment and understanding how to protect it. So please, my message to all of you is, do not hype security up and do not forget about it. Just build in security across your value chain, a very normal way, framework that is based on a standard, verifiable, based on facts. We always say in Huawei, you need to follow A, B, C, D, E principle. Assume nothing, believe nobody, check everything, and then decide based on facts. And in Huawei, we really check everything and we decide based on facts. Last point I wanted to talk about, especially here in Latin America, it's the collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Futuristic, growth-oriented collaboration between all of the entities in the ecosystem is fundamentally important to get the power of 5G. If there is no open collaboration and innovation, if there is no open collaboration in the global supply chain, nobody will win. And no one can do it by itself. No vendor, no country, nothing. Nobody can do it by itself. 5G is big and the technology is great. We need to collaborate. On top of those collaboration entities, I would like to talk about the role of the government in setting future-looking policy and framework. I will not talk specifically about how to deal with municipalities and how to price the spectrum. No, I will not go to that level of details. But let me tell you, in 5G era, the regulation and policy need to be generic enough. Don't tight it. Be generic enough to include other, to be future-looking, growth-oriented. Why? Because you cannot change the regulation every day, and you don't know in 5 years, those kids in school now, they're going to come up with services that will require different things. So be generic enough, but at the same time, the framework for policy and regulation need to be holistic and inclusive across all of the industries. We used to do kind of the regulation and policy only for telecom, but now it is not enough. It has to be certain collaboration even inside the government entity, between telecom, between transportation, between manufacturing. The policy has to be across all of those. So what I'm trying to say is you need to have a balance in between being generic enough and being tight enough. On the other hand, everybody has a role in this ecosystem. Vendors like Huawei, you need to provide the agile solution for the equipment that allows different services and the guarantee efficiency of investment. Operators, establish your organization, transform, please have the belief in the demand. The demand is there, but you need to unleash that demand, enhance your experience, not your experience, the customer experience, and enhance also service innovation. Remember, 5G without service innovation is not even going to be 4G. So basically, you are missing the point if you do not do service innovation. Third-party infrastructure companies as well. My last slide is how to build a powerful, simple, efficient, but I added a word here which is profitable 5G. Think about two things. Think about the supply side and the demand side. Think about optimizing the supply, efficiency, evolution, investment efficiency, and then think about your demand, because you know what? It's the difference between these two curves that will get you there. You need to optimize that, and you need to balance the other one. So, ladies and gentlemen, Huawei is the world leader for infrastructure and specifically for 5G. So around two-thirds of the commercial network in 5G are launched by Huawei. Huawei is committed to continue our collaborative effort with all of you, including government, business, with a very strong global supply chain that is not even affected by any current trade or political situation. We are here to keep on serving you, maybe even will serve you better in the next era. And thank you so much for the time. And I'll be here if you have any questions. Thank you so much.